All right, so let's bring up some. This is a story that just came out of the blue for a lot of people. They're like going, wow, this is a heck of a development. It makes Tony Davis from the Arizona Daily Star bleed from his eyeballs. But it is a huge housing development in Benson, Arizona. We have Mike Reinbold. Good morning, Mike. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And what's the name of your company that's developing this?
Eldorado Benson.
Eldorado Benson. And then we have George Scott, who won an Academy Award for playing George Patton in the movie Patton. He's here. He is the director of the Southern Arizona Economic Development Group.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Great job in the movie, man.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
So, George, you've been down in the Benson area all your life, or most of your life?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Benson. I was born in Tucson, but I've been living in Benson my whole entire life. Been in business there, and on the city council. I was the mayor for about 6 or 7 years, and now I'm helping the city do economic development projects.
Excellent. So we have to call you Your Honor, or just George?
You can call me whatever you want.
Now, George, before we get talking about this bill, explain where Benson's at in relation to their what is going on in Benson? Because you have Karchner Caverns right there. You have, is that San Pedro Golf Course still?
San Pedro Golf Course is owned by the city of Benson. It's a really nice golf course. A lot of people from the Vail and Corona de Tucson area, Cerrito, they come down and play at our golf course.
I haven't heard much about it, so it's good to hear that it's still actually going.
Nice golf course.
So what is the economy of Benson? What's going on in Benson?
Well, the Benson economy is, this time of year, it depends on the winter visitors. The snowbirds that come in and stay in the RV park. There's about 1,800 RV spaces in Benson, and they fill up every winter. The economy is we depend a lot on Fort Huachuca for jobs. Apache Nitrogen and Arizona Electric Power Co-op are the biggest employers around. And Benson is only a 30-minute drive from where we're sitting here to the city limits of Benson. It's 30 minutes.
So I actually had retail stores in Yuma, Nogales, and Sierra Vista, which is kind of your valley down there. And I would go to Yuma and see these RVs and just folks just flood in the wintertime from Canada and whatnot. And I always thought, why on earth are they in that just dusty, hot spot? When you go down to Green Valley or to Sierra Vista area and Benson area, it's beautiful. The weather's about 8 to 10 degrees cooler. Why haven't that mojo caught on over in your world? And it sounds like this is the opportunity to kind of do that.
It's going to catch on, and the development that Mike and his company are bringing in, the elevation down there is about 4,000 feet. It's beautiful time of year. You should take a trip down there and look
super
at the grounds.
Green.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
it's just really
is, and Eldorado Holdings is going to bring a really great project to Benson.
And you mentioned something about RVers when we bumped our tax up.
The RV tax to build the baseball stadium, Keno Stadium,
back in 97, 98.
Yeah.
What happened to your RV population?
Well, I really thank Pima County for doing that because at the time I owned an RV park in Benson at Pato Blanco Lakes, and as soon as they bumped that tax up, we got our parks filled up.
Yep.
And they continue to fill up because it's just the principle of the thing. You start making people that are only here for a few months out of the year, pay for a baseball stadium even if they don't even know where it is.
Sure.
And they're usually on a fixed income.
Correct.
Right.
So we get some of our best customers come out of Pima County.
You're welcome. Glad we could help you. So this development now, you actually you were telling me Maricopa, the town of Maricopa. You were the guys that made that happen.
That's correct. We were the primary developer in Maricopa and started in 2000. Little town of 450 people, and over a course of about 7 years, the population grew to 47,000.
And you hit the market just right. Run up.
Yes, brilliance and a lot of luck is always a good thing.
No kidding. And you've been working this Whetstone project for quite some time. I've been watching it. It's coming. It may be on hold, waiting for the housing market, going through the permitting process. So you're ready to break ground?
We're probably more like next summer on a groundbreaking. We're still finalizing some of the public process with the city of Benson, and then final design and engineering, and then into construction.
And where's your market, or what's the sweet spot?
What are you seeing out there? How many houses this is going to be total in the end?
28,000.
So what did you see out there? We know the mortgage bank thing is a mess out there.
Yes.
We know people are having trouble selling their house wherever they're at to move
Yes.
out here. A lot of grandparents are now being the primary parent or helping raise kids now back in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So what are you guys seeing out there that said, let's go 28,000 houses in Benson, Arizona?
Well, to start with, I've spent most of my life, as has my partner, in developing emerging markets. So we go generally where no other dare to go, and we see opportunities that are generally overlooked and have the ability to problem solve. So most of our developments have no utilities, no infrastructure. It's just a nice piece of property. And when we looked at Benson, in the first 30 minutes on the property, it's like being dropped literally into a part of Tuscany. And just driving around the property.
Rolling hills.
Oh, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning, and the views of the valley. And so once you spend time out there, you can walk anywhere on the property, do a 360-degree turn, and you have stunning views in every direction.
Yeah.
So that was the start of it. And then as we spent more time exploring the San Pedro Valley, all of the things that you can do in the valley. Kartchner Caverns are on the south end of our property. You have 30 vineyards in the region. You have Tombstone, Bisbee, Sierra Vista.
Wilcox.
There's so much beauty out there that literally you could go spend a week and not be able to partake in it all. So it kind of, we looked at it as a Sedona of the South. The difference being is you go to Sedona and you can spend a day doing the Red Rocks, a day playing golf, and then it's now what? So in Benson, you can spend literally
go up to
weeks.
Tucson. You got 45 minutes up here with 1 million population, all the restaurants and stuff.
Absolutely. Everything's available in a short drive, and the beauty's stunning. As we moved through the process of working on the property, kind of the world helped, if you will. The Washington Post recently released a study that was done, and it was a study that rated all of the counties in the country, and there are 3,111 of them. And Cochise County rated in the top 1%. And that was based on natural beauty and climate. So when you look at North America as your market, if you're going to retire,
right,
that's pretty ideal to have a
You want to get
location.
out of Canada, you want to get out of those cold states, the Rust Belts.
Absolutely.
And then you can find a good price on a home. So what kind of price points are you going to up and down the model?
It'll be a pretty broad-ranging price. I would say average $250, probably starting in the mid to upper 100s and up to probably $500. So a pretty broad range of
and then you do it all the
product.
community centers and golf courses and all that kind of stuff too, the amenities? Is that
Yeah,
part of it?
there's a development in Florida called The Villages, and the family who developed it happens to be a friend, and I think it is probably the premier community in the country. They started 30 years ago, but today the community consists of 50,000 homes, 100,000 people. And what makes them unique is kind of like the Disneyland of active adult. And it's the only community that I've been in where everybody's walking around smiling. And the reason that is because all of the activities, it's almost like landing on a cruise ship when you go there.
Yeah, it's like a Viagra commercial.
Pretty much.
Right?
Exactly.
Everybody's happy, smiling.
Exactly.
Everyone's sitting in bathtubs.
Yes.
Doing it up.
Shuffleboard, pickleball.
So is it only active adult?
No, there'll be a mixture. Somewhere between 75 to 85% will be active, and 15 to 25 will be conventional housing. And as the community develops, we had Dr. Carrera do an economic impact study, and the study determined that over the development period of 20 years, it'll generate about $24 billion of economic impact to the region, and about 16,000 jobs during the peak of construction with on-site and off-site support, and 8,500 permanent jobs. So as the community evolves, it'll
You're
provide
building retail, I assume,
Yes.
all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. How many people live in Benson now?
Approximately 5,000.
So this would take it, if you had 2 people per home, that's
70,000.
70,000. Yeah, that's a big boom for the
Yes.
area. Chris, if you're not growing, what are you doing?
DYING.
Right.
Dying. I assume also Hudbay just announced that they are going to break dirt on Rosemont coming up next summer. So that's also kind of also happening in that area. So a lot of stuff happening on that side of the state.
There is. There's a lot of people that are tremendously supportive in the region. One of the things that I'm proud of, with George's help and a number of people's help. SAEDG.org, which is a Southeastern Arizona government organization, presented a resolution to the Benson City Council supporting and endorsing the city of Benson and its efforts and the villages at Vigneto, which is our development. So that represents 4 counties and 15 towns and cities. And as part of our promotion, obviously we promote the 1% locational factor.
Sure.
The SAEDG.org resolution, which is generally unheard of in real estate. And to me what that says, when you're marketing in North America, we're open for business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big statement.
So the Tony Davis articles in the paper have always been about water. Water. If you're going to go from 5,000 to 50,000, whatever this number is, what is the water strategy here?
The water supply was reviewed and approved by Arizona Department of Water. So there's an assured water certificate that's been issued to the city of Benson.
100 years. Usually.
100 years assured water supply. And also implementing best practices. So our interest is also preserving and recycling, reusing. So best practices in management, all appliances, low-flow appliances, recycled water for irrigation, and doing what we can to manage the resource as effectively as we can.
That aquifer on the north side or southeast side is huge. It's
the
Rincon Basin, right? Is that still the Rincon Basin?
I don't remember the exact name, but it is extremely large, and there is an abundance of water there.
Well, if you want to follow along on the internet, SAEDG, Southern Arizona Economic Development Group, SAEDG.org.
Again, 30 years ago, someone in Sarita said, let's create something. 40 years ago, someone in Marana said, probably 45, 50 years ago, someone in Yuma said, let's create something, and look what they've created. So you're looking at the ground floor of something that could be that big regional player.
Yeah, I think it's extremely exciting. The more people that learn about the region, and one of the things about Benson and the San Pedro Valley is it's probably one of the best kept secrets in the state.
Right.
The further north you go in Arizona, the fewer people know about it. And so part of our effort is to work with the tourism industry and start that and support it so that it's in conjunction with our promotion across North America. So it would be all of the things you can do in Benson, links that you can connect to all the tourism issues that you want to explore.
Sure.
And help support
Chris,
that.
Remember the Mall of America that was going to get developed? That the developers that did Mall of America were going to put it out in Vail? Or
It was up by the Tech Park there.
Tech Park.
Yeah,
so stuff like that will start happening on that side of town because of this as well. Corona de
Let me ask you a
Tucson.
question. Do you ever think about building anything in Pima County?
I've looked at it a number of times.
What's the pitfalls of doing business in Pima County?
Well, part of it is finding developable property.
Right.
Is somewhat becoming limited, and generally, when you look at the research, it has maybe a 10-year supply, and it's pretty much exhausted. And the challenges of getting process completed, just the processing time is very challenging, and normally the economics don't support long, lengthy process. And
That was the politest way I've ever heard that said. Good job.
Classy guy.
Very
I like
polite.
that.
Very polite.
All right, real quick. So keep doing what you're doing. Sounds like you're trying to do things the right way. Keep us updated with what's going on. It's a heck of a project. So
thank you very much.
We'll see. George Scott, I got one question for you that has nothing to do with the movies.
All right.
We're foodies. Give me top 2 places I need to go eat at that are locally owned killer places in Benson.
Well, the place that I eat breakfast every morning is a Horseshoe Cafe, which is right there in the middle of town.
Okay.
They got great, just family-type restaurant, and it's been there since the 1930s. The other place, there's a great little Mexican restaurant. It's called Mi Casa restaurant. It's a real small restaurant.
This isn't the Mexican restaurant that's next to the other Mexican restaurant, is
No.
it? Okay.
No.
We'll talk about that another time. So, all right, Mi Casa. All right, guys. Again, this is a huge, mind-blowing project, really. For this, going from 5,000 people to 45 to 50,000 people is crazy. So, congratulations, I guess. Keep going what you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep us updated.
All right, thank you for having us.
All right, Wake Up Tucson. You're on The Voice. We're running really late. So, Wake Up Tucson, 10:30 The Voice.
Wake Up Tucson with Joe Higgins and Christy Simone on 1030 KVOI, The Voice.